I'm told, and you can correct this, that you're actually a little bit naughtier than you've led on. I'm told you used to deploy roadies to identify girls that you like the look of, and they would then be brought in for a chat, and you would then give them a code which they could attach to letters to you.
Where did you find all this stuff,
dude? So you would know which ones they were. Is that true?
It's actually true. All right, let me tell you what it was. If I got a letter, I told the fan club people, if I ever got a letter with a circle and a line down the middle, okay, that was the secret code. Because my name is Donald Clark Osmond, DCO. So there's a D, there's a C, and there's an O.
What would you then do with them?
Not a lot. My hands were tied as far as that's concerned.
Presumably there wasn't much you could do. You
No.
were brothers and sisters all the
No,
time.
we'd come back and, just chat and shake hands and say, see you later. But you know what I did do? I had pictures of these girls that I kept in my wallet. And
did you really?
I really did.
Well, all of them.
I can't believe I'm disclosing this. But on our bus rides, I would take the lower bunk. And I would put these girls' pictures on the top of the bunk. And nobody ever looked up underneath, so that was, I would look at these girls and just dream. I would think, someday I can have a girlfriend. Someday. And I met Debbie, and I fell madly in love with her.
And because of your faith, I think, and the sense of family you had and stuff, you've written about this yourself. Debbie was the one. You didn't have sex before you got married. So
No,
you've only ever had sex with one woman. Do you ever, if you're honest, have you ever wondered what it would have been like to have sowed your oats a little more wildly?
Dude, I'm a normal guy. Come on, come on. I've had all kinds of opportunities present themselves to me. It's a temptation all the time.
Do you still get that?
Oh, still get that.
What's the most shameless recently?
I don't know why this one pops in my mind, but it was over in Ireland last time I was touring there. I get off the stage. I don't even think I told Debbie this one. I get off the stage and I'm undressing, and I hear this noise in the bathroom. And I walk in. There's two girls in my shower.
No.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I'm thinking, okay, ladies, it's time to leave.
How long did it take you to say that?
About 4 hours.
Were they remotely apologetic for their
No,
outrageous
they
conduct?
were quite drunk.
They wanted some puppy love.
Oh, they wanted a lot of, no, they wanted a little more than puppy love.
Let's turn to your parents, George and Ollie. You were born in Utah in 1957. Interesting footage of your father there. He's looked a very proud man, a very handsome man. You can see where you all get the looks from. Tell me about him.
He was a strict father.
Did he physically discipline?
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. I mean, that was the way back in the 50s and the 60s. You take your belt and you...
And what's the reality of that? I mean, do you feel any mental scars from the physical discipline? Or did you think, you know what, that was fine?
It's funny because I've thought a lot about this. Despite the lickings and the spankings that I got, I love that guy. I admire him because look what he did to his life. He was a nobody, and the world knows his last name. He conquered and overcame adversity. I love him. I can hardly wait to see him again one of these days. I believe I will.
He died, actually, not that long ago.
No, it wasn't very long ago. And
what was your relationship like with him towards the end?
Perfect.
Did he mellow with age?
I cried my eyes out when he died.
Did you?
Yeah.
Because you felt what?
I am who I am because of him. I don't think I could have survived in this business had he not taught me how to work, how to focus, how to conquer.
What was your mum like?
Loving, very kind. When my dad would discipline me, she would always be the soft hand. It would always go to her and she'd console. It's okay. He's on one of his. Whatever.
Did she ever have any concerns about pushing all her kids into the business? Did it ever make her feel guilty?
Never came across to me. Maybe my other brothers would have a different perspective. But no, she, again, was very, very supportive. It was our business, Piers. It's how we made a living. It was our livelihood. She kept this family together, Piers. I mean, let's give them the accolades and the kudos that they deserve, because keeping 9 children together in a world called show business, I mean, kudos to them.
At one stage on a tour of Sweden, you were so homesick, you wrote a cry for help to your mother.
Yeah.
What happened when you did that?
Oh, my father had us write letters back home every week. I was 7, I think. And I wrote this one letter, and my father would have us read it to him. Okay, read me what you wrote your mom. And I started reading, and I skipped over an entire section. And I basically said, Mom, I want to come home. I want to play in my sandbox. I want to play with my trucks. I don't like it out here. Daddy's being too mean. And I just want to come home. I didn't read that part. The mistake I made was that I told Jay. Jay ratted on. He ratted on me. He told Father. And that didn't go over very well.
How did he react?
I got a spanking for it. I thought that was one mistake he made.
Too hard.
It was too hard at that point in time.
At the time that you were growing up and going through all this, so was somebody else, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Tell me about Michael Jackson and your relationship with him over the years.
Well, I kind of protect that because we had a pretty special relationship. As a matter of fact, we're both the 7th child of both 9 children.
Wow.
And
amazing.
Same age, yeah. Jermaine was the kind of like the other soloist. He was the middleman of the Jackson 5. Merrill was the middleman of the Osmonds. He was the other soloist. Our mother's birthdays are the same day.
Really?
Oh, it goes on and on and on. The parallels are ridiculous.
Tough disciplinarian father.
Tough disciplinarian father, but the Mike I knew was a very kind-hearted, soft-spoken, loving individual. I'll never forget, I was at the old A&M Records in Los Angeles, and he had to go to a record company over to see Quincy. And he needed a ride. I said, I'll give you a ride. And this is just before Thriller was about to come. As a matter of fact, he had a cassette. He said, I want you to hear something, Donny. And he played this. I said, okay, this is going to be big. I said, Mike, I want to be on the chart. I want to be doing that. How do I do it? And he said, you got to change your name.
Did he really?
He said, your name is Poison. Your image has got to change.
How long did you stay in touch with Michael?
Till the end.
Really?
Well, about a year till the end. I'm going to tell you a story. Now that he's gone, I can disclose this. He called me about maybe a year before he died. And I was on the road somewhere. I can't remember where I was, and the phone rings. It's, Donny? Mike, is that you? Hi, Donny. You know, his sweet little voice. I said, where are you? He says, I can't tell you. I said, Mike, hey, you're talking to me. Come on, where are you? He says, I'm in Phoenix. Please don't tell anybody where I'm at, because I just had to get away. He rented this, I guess, this custom motorhome, this bus, put his kids in it, went to somewhere in Phoenix just to hide, to get away. I said, Mike, do me a favor. Get in that bus, drive up to Utah, come to my house. Nobody will know you're here. Kids can go swimming in the backyard, play with my kids, and you'll feel what normalcy feels like, because I found it. He said, okay. And he never took me up on the offer. That was the last time I talked to him. I couldn't wrap my arms around it. We lost a genius, and the business took him.
It's a tough business.
Yeah.
And one thing's for sure, it's not been an easy ride for you. Let's take a look at this. In 1971, the Osmonds scored their first US #1 with an R&B track.
I can tell you've been hurt by that look on your face, girl.
One Bad Apple was pitched to the Jacksons first, and they passed on it. And it became our very first iconic record, and it did sound quite a bit like the Jackson 5.
Come along, suck it to your game.
Everybody gives huge shout-outs to the Jackson 5 for being cutting edge. But the Osmonds were cutting edge at that time, too. They were doing exactly the same kind of music, only they were white.
The Osmonds also penned a rock classic. Crazy Horses reached #2 in the UK.
That's the one that did it for me, really. I thought these guys and the way they moved and the way they performed was terrific.
The Osmonds as a band hit the big time, but Donny's style was starting to shine brighter than his brothers.
The thing about Donny stepping forward was not really a design. It was just simply a test, and that test went bonkers. Every radio station in America played it.
That he's always a person that represents, in a way, the star power of the group. And Donny was it.
A string of massive hits put Donny firmly in the spotlight, pushing his brothers to the back.
The other boys kind of got the bum end of the deal because Donny was thrust forward so fast at such a young age, and I think it just spun out of control.
But it was very hard, very hurtful for some of the brothers because they were all so talented.
In 1976, Donny and his 16-year-old sister Marie, already a star in her own right, were offered their own variety show on TV.
The Donny and Marie show was an appointment to view. I would not miss it for anything. I sat that close to the TV screen and I loved him.
But being a major TV star did no favours for Donny's musical career.
Donny wanted to come across cool, you know, he was that age, and now he's dressing up as Captain Purple with a purple wig and mocking it all.
In 1979, after 4 series, the Donny and Marie show was axed. Donny's bid to stay in the limelight was a big Broadway production.
Little Johnny Jones was something Donny had his heart set on as finally going to Broadway. And I remember talking to Donny prior to it, and he was so excited. He said, Meryl, I think this is it.
But on Broadway, critics ruled the roost.
The review came out, it was early in the morning, and we read it and realized it was over.
With one reviewer describing Donny as positively obnoxious, the show bombed.
We opened and closed the same night.
It really marked one of the very first failures of his life.
Things got even worse when it emerged the family's entire fortune had vanished.
I really blame ourselves because we weren't into the detail, we were just about making money.
Millions and millions and millions of dollars disappeared from the coffers.
We kind of lost everything, sold off everything, and it was a shock.
What do? You just got to start back over again.
Donny needed to bring in the bucks, but it seemed the screaming fans had grown up and moved on.
Suddenly, bang, it was all over. And he weren't loved anymore.
Donny went into a very strange time. He grew a beard. He hated his image. He hated puppy love. I think he hated everything he had ever done. Donny Osmond as an individual was lost.
Wow. That's what I was thinking. That period in the 80s, about as big a fall as you could possibly imagine, given how high you were.
Well, that's it. Had it not been so high, the fall wouldn't be so great. But, you know, it's embarrassing when you're that popular and then you're that unpopular. And you go out in public and you hear somebody go, you think it's about you. And sometimes it is. The name Donny Osmond in certain circles was a joke.
There was a moment when a bunch of unruly youngsters were abusing you, and you were in the car, I think.
Oh, I was doing the show in a half-filled high school gymnasium.
Wow.
And just several years prior to that, stadiums. And this car, 6 kids pull up, and I'm refueling the motorhome that I rented to get up there. And they started laughing and making jokes and saying things that a good little Mormon boy wouldn't say. And I'm a little embarrassed to tell you this. But steam started coming out of my ears, right? And Debbie said, calm down. I said, no, I'm just going to go talk to these guys for a minute. She said, Donny, get back in the motorhome. I said, I'll be right back. And I walk over there, and their windows were down. They're yelling, Donny Osmond's blankety blank and all that stuff. So I walk up there, and they roll their windows up, and I'm banging on them, and I'm yelling the same things right back to them. Really? Oh, baby. I was hoping that nobody was taping me, because...
You just lost it.
I lost it. That was the moment I just lost it.
Was it cathartic?
It was so cathartic. I felt so good about it. But what was really cool about the situation is that at the very end, after I'd blown off all this steam, this kid, he was 18 maybe, He rolls his window down a little bit because he was afraid of me. He said, "I'm so sorry, Donny." I said, "But don't you?" And then I went right after him again. He said, "You know what? I was wrong. You're a cool guy." And they took off. That was cathartic.